Hello angels, Dr. Michelle Nielsen here, Creative Vital Angel, and in the last video we spoke about the pelvic floor. I introduced you to the pelvic floor, and today what we're going to talk about is what is inside your pelvic floor. So I think you're going to be absolutely amazed when you realize what is going on in your pelvic cavity and what's inside your pelvic floor. So quick review, we're looking at the pelvis here from the top to the bottom, and the pelvis is a bony structure that forms this nice protective cavity that protects these vital organs. So let's take a look at what is inside your pelvic floor. First, ladies, we have the uterus, okay? This is amazing, ladies. Look at, this is where your babies begin and where your babies grow. And just how amazing your body is that it all starts here in this tiny little structure here. So you see these wings on the side here? Those are your fallopian tubes, and these are your ovaries. So once a month, your ovaries send little eggs that have to travel all the way down to the uterus through the fallopian tubes. They land in the uterus here, and they wait to get fertilized. If they do not get fertilized, we have menstruation, and if they do get fertilized, over the next 9 months, this is the uterus where your babies came from or will come from. When they're delivered, they come out through the vaginal canal here. So imagine this, your baby has to come out through this vaginal canal, and later we'll have a look at it through the vagina there. So that's the first thing that's stored in your pelvic floor. The second thing is towards the back here, we have the rectum. So that's the end of your intestine, and that's where the feces comes out. So that's the last stage of passage. And ladies, you're not going to believe this because I'm going to take this out. And this little organ here, that little tiny thing is actually your bladder. So just imagine, ladies, you should be proud of yourself when you're really holding it in, when you think just how small that bladder is. So we're going to open up the top of the bladder here. So see how tiny that is? So imagine how much that has to stretch out. And you see that little tube there? That is your urethra, okay? So all of this is stored inside your pelvic cavity and needs to be supported by your pelvic floor. So when the pelvic floor gets weak, these poor little organs get squashed down, and a couple of things happen. So one, the pressure on your bladder, so you can imagine if it's not support, we don't have the support on the bottom, that pressure on your bladder, you can imagine how that's going to cause problems with urination, a weak bladder. So it means you're either rushing to the toilet all the time or having urine leaks when you don't want to. Also, when the pelvic floor gets weak, so as I mentioned before, then this vaginal canal, this vaginal area is going to get really stretched out, and that's going to cause a very unsatisfying sex life for both you and your partner. So, ladies, in summary, it's really important to keep your pelvic floor strong and healthy because it's supporting all of those vital organs there. And if you keep your pelvic floor strong and healthy, you're going to experience better bladder control, better posture, a much firmer tummy, and a much more satisfying sex life. Stay tuned for further videos, and we're going to talk about tips on how to keep your pelvic floor strong and healthy.